Hello, welcome to Tech Notice live stream. This is going to be interesting. This over here is the M4 Max MacBook Pro, the maxed out version. Okay, there's one over here, and that's the one that I'm streaming from. And if you wonder how this is working, you can check it out in a couple of days' time. I think the video is already available for members. But this is the absolute maxed out version, okay? And we're going to be testing this in real life video editing, how good this is. In a minute, we're going to see how much RAM is it actually going to be using. Do you need more RAM? I've already ran the benchmarks for the 128 gigabyte version and the 48 gigabyte version, so the base model. So this is an extra $1,000 upgrade. Is this worth it? Well, I've got some mixed feelings there because depends what you're doing. So this is going to be very exciting. Firstly, I want to get this out of the way straight away. I am very, very privileged to be able to test these things. It's absolutely amazing. I remember being a kid, by the way, in 2009. I got my first MacBook Pro, and I saved up probably for 3-4 years to buy my first MacBook Pro. And to be in a place like this right now, to test the absolute maximum thing and to provide that information for you, I feel so blessed. I just want you to know that, okay? Cheekster is saying M4 Max maxed out version. Okay, this is not a Checo version, this is the properly maxed out version. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. So this is a 5K laptop. This one over here is the base model, well, a little bit upgraded. So this is the 4K model. This is basically a house deposit on this table right now. And it's going to be exciting, okay? If you have any questions, let me know what you want to do there. And you know, let's see if we can have a little chat in there. I can see what's going on in there. Someone here, Sticky Puppy, is saying, really struggling to decide upgrading MacBook Pro to 48 or keep the base 24 gigabytes RAM for video editing. So it looks like you're looking at the M4 Pro model and, or is it the no, the M4 has 16 and M4 Pro is 24 plus. So without no further ado, by the way, oh, sorry, I forgot one more thing. If there's any questions that you think that I could help you answer or I could help you with, check out Minect in the video description below. I always get back to my Minect messages. It's a great way of filtering, you know, someone who really tries to help or find help and really get some help. Check out Minect in the video description below. If you want to reach out and you haven't got, or I haven't got back to you on my emails, DMs, or however you reach out to me, feel free to reach out in Minect. I'll get back to you in there. So here we are. So this is our MacBook Pro 16-inch M4 Max maxed out. And just to show you that this is happening here, if we go to the memory settings in Premiere Pro, it's 128 gigabytes. And this is the maximum that we can give Premiere Pro. So Premiere Pro can use 116 gigabytes. Right now on the top, I'll explain what's happening on the screen as well. So even if you're new here, you know what to expect. So this here is the CPU usage. So you can see percentage-wise how much is being used. This is the RAM used. Okay, I've selected that so I can see how much RAM has been used right now. As you can see, the Mac OS loves to cache as much RAM as possible. Okay, there's 50 gigabytes. There's 50 gigabytes cached right now on RAM. Okay, and then 80 gigabytes is free. So there's more cached on our RAM right now than the base MacBook Pro M4 Max. Okay, which is ridiculous. And then it's using only 28 or using only. So we'll see how much this can use here, because some of the 8K, when we get to that should be very, very much used. This one is the GPU, so we can see when the GPU is being utilized and when the CPU is being utilized. Now, I've got the iStatistica here as well, so we can monitor the battery temperatures, CPU temperatures, airflow temperatures, everything. Right now, the fans are going 0 RPM. Yeah, so I'll just leave that one there so I can quickly flick in there if we needed to. But right now, they're just idle. This is set to high power, so we're going to give it as much power as possible. My battery is charging right now at 85%. We'll see if we can get this to 100%. Well, it's probably not going to be 100% before it's all going to go. But as you can see, on the right side here, there is also my power gadget available. In fact, I'm going to have to do here these as well. I want to show you the GPU and this as well. So we can see how much power is the package pulling, how much is CPU pulling, GPU pulling, and all that thing, okay? Without no further ado, let's start. Okay, everything in Premiere Pro, if you don't know how Premiere Pro works, all the footage that I have loaded onto it will be played back at the native full resolution. The way DaVinci Resolve plays back is it plays back the timeline resolution and the timeline frame rate, whereas this plays back everything. So this 60 frames per second, right now, if I'm scrolling through here, it will play it back at 60 frames per second. Obviously, you can't see it because you'll be looking at this at 30 frames per second through YouTube. But right now, this is that. Okay. So this is full resolution, 4K H.264, 60 frames per second. And as you can see, look at the package usage. We're pulling about 5-6 watts. Yo, do you understand? We're using 1 watt of GPU power, maybe just over 1, and about 3. Package 5 watts. It's absolutely mental. I'm probably going to say that multiple times here. Okay, this is very, very easy. Let's keep going to the next one. This is 10-bit, 24 frames per second. Very easy as well. Scrubbing through here, no problem. Oh, I'm looking a bit odd there, aren't I? Why am I looking that random? Okay. That's better. Why was I squished into there like that? Okay, look at that. I look a little better. Purple around as well, like Premiere Pro. Okay. So if you're going with like 4K mirrorless camera footage right now, 24 frames per second, it's like a breeze. By the way, this adjustment layer will be played back on the GPU as well. There's just a few different color grades and LUTs on it just to make it a little bit more easier, okay? And I know some people are going to be saying, oh, you know, but what about multi-layer things and things like that if your project becomes like a bit more complicated and things like that? Well, the thing is, depends what codecs and all the things you're using. If you have lots of these on top of each other, okay, then it's still going to be pretty much the same, okay? Because what matters is the codec that you're actually playing back. Is it accelerated on the hardware or not? I don't know what's happening here, but this is a buttery smooth. Like, this is so smooth, you won't even believe it. H.264, 422, 30 frames per second. I don't know what Apple is doing here, but this is the best acceleration I have ever seen. Like as fast as I'm moving this, it plays it back that fast. Usually on Windows, this goes on software, but for some reason, Apple's got acceleration on the GPU or the media engines to play this back. M4 Max, look at that, 66% utilized, and we're playing that back. It's absolutely fantastic. Will the 422 be laggier than 420? Joy is asking. Well, actually, that's a very interesting question. Right now, the 422 is much easier than the 420. So if I get my 420 back up here, 10-bit, that is a lot more laggier than the 422. Look at that. Okay, so this is 25 frames per second. Oh my word, it's ridiculous seeing this back. It's interesting, I've ran the benchmarks, and in some of the benchmarks, you see this not as good as some of the, like Core Ultra 9 285K, for example. But this is so much smoother. Like, doesn't matter what the benchmarks say, what I'm playing back right now, what I'm seeing is smoother. It's absolutely crazy. This here as well, obviously this is SI, so all intra, super smooth. Like you haven't experienced anything smoother. Like, it makes you feel that my Premiere Pro is broken when I'm using Threadripper, okay? That's what it feels like. It's absolutely mental. Moving on to 60 frames per second, 422. The 30 frames is like the ideal thing there, like an ideal sweet spot. The 60 frames per second is a little bit more laggier here. Let's put the color grade on as well, just so we can see a little bit more. It's funny, when I'm putting the color grade on, it's almost, yeah, absolutely no difference whatsoever. But look at the RAM usage, 58.8 gigabytes used. That's crazy. Let's have a look at this. Look at that CPU core temperatures there. And we're getting there. I'll just put that underneath so we can see some things there. I'd say 422 60 frames per second H.264 is fine as well. Now, 420 H.265. So usually on Windows side, this is accelerated on your GPU or iGPU, NVIDIA or AMD or anything. Everyone can play this back. This here is not as smooth as on Windows. It's still pretty amazing though that it pulls like 7 watts to script through this, which is so efficient. Alrighty, moving on. So this is usually what's very, 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 very hard to play back. This is H.265, 422, 10-bit, 60 frames per second, R5 footage, Canon R5, okay? And, oh my word. So even if you have a Threadripper in RTX 4090, they are not playing this back. You need specific hardware that plays this back smoothly. This is absolutely insane. Someone is saying, can we run Warp Stabilizer to see how this would work? Well, let's try, okay? Good idea. Let's take a look. As you can see, this is a little bit shaky there at the last clip. Okay, so this is gone down 50% as well. So let's nest it because in Premiere Pro we can't put it on there. Where's our nest? Okay. Nested clip. Let's get Warp Stabilizer on here. Okay. Warp is going on here. Look, it does it on CPU. About 26 watts pulled from the CPU. And he's boosting to 4 gigahertz. As you can see, P cores are just chewing this through. Let's have a look at the, where is effects controls? So we can see how many frames have we done this already. 95%. There we go. Was that happy? Come on, stabilize then. Okay, so this is smoother, but still going through like very, very fast. That was not so bad. But you could see that that warp stabilizer was a lot heavier on the CPU. So this H.265 10-bit 422 is buttery smooth as well. So right now, whatever you throw at it, it is pretty easy. I guess we're gonna have to move on. Canon C200, this is 4K, DCI 4K, Canon RAW, 60 frames per second. Oh my word, it's so smooth. You just don't know what to do. Look at the CPU cores though. Hot cake and muffins. Pressing play at full resolution. Look at that. Look at that. It is mentally fast, this. Oh no. Okay, this is 2 of these clips on top of each other. So let me just... 50 frames per second, DCI 4K. So as you can see, a little bit wider. Oh my word. It's absolutely no problem. Scrubby, 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 scrubby. But look at this now here. It's a bit red. It's a bit red. Well, on that note, time to move on to red. This is a red RAW, 4K red RAW. It's usually quite simple footage to anything, and it's as buttery smooth as it can get. Just, you are going to be the slowdown for this, because you're going to not be able to move that timeline header as fast as this. It's insanely fast. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it comes across to you like as fast, but it's like buttery smooth. Okay, 120 frames per second. Now this has always been a bit of a nutcracker. I don't think I've ever seen this bit played back full resolution at full speed and not dropping frames. So keep an eye on this green, because it hasn't gone yellow yet. It's been green all this time. When it goes yellow, it's dropping frames. Okay. No way. No flipping way. That is ridiculous. Okay, I don't think people understand how mental this is. Oh my. This is ridiculous. Absolutely mental. Like, I have never seen this ever in my life. Never ever have I experienced this. This is properly mental. Oh my word. So the scrubbing is like kind of alright. So the first bit was H.264 420 8-bit 120 frames per second. This is 422 10-bit. Look at that. It drops. This is insane. I think Apple's media engines are able to harder accelerate at 120 hertz or frames per second. Intel's are only 60 frames per second, for example. Even the new Core Ultra iGPU and the new media engines on the new desktop platform, as far as I know, there's 60 hertz. So if you have 120 here, it's just gonna absolutely die, right? So H.265 now, 420 10-bit. It drops like a couple of frames here and there. But usually at this point, I've seen hundreds of frames dropped, like hundreds. This is 15. So it's dropping like a couple of frames a second, maybe something like that, every few seconds. Oh my word. I don't want to quite believe it, because it's and it's at 10 watts power usage. This should not be possible. Now it just swapped to Azure 264, 422 10-bit, 120 frames per second. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. This should not be possible. This is ridiculous. This feels like magic. 10 watts, 12 watts package power draw. Like the difference in watts, I'm measuring in like 1 watts, 2 watts difference. Usually on Windows PCs, we're talking about, oh, this PC is pulling 30, 40, 50, 100 watts more. This is like, oh, this is 2 watts more. This is, I can't believe it. Getting onto a little bit higher resolution, a little bit more difficult things, right? This is 5K red raw. Oh wow, now look at the scrubbing through here. The package power instantly goes to 40 something watts. Scrubbing still very, very smooth. Pressing play. Yep, as you can see. Is it getting warm? Like the surface is kind of warm. Yeah, very, very, like I'm freezing right now, okay? So to me, I just want it to be warm, okay? But it's 81C, something like that. The fans are going roughly about 2000 RPM. I can hear it. It's fine. The only thing that makes me slightly worried right now is those people who go with a 14-inch version. This is 16-inch, which means there's a lot more cooling available for this. There's longer heat pipes. It's just bigger. It's more space for air and so on. So if you've got a 14-inch, you might be struggling. You might be struggling. And if you're going for the 14-inch, I'm actually running benchmarks on a very interesting laptop down there. Asus ProArt PX13. Did you know that there is a third one as well? Have you seen the PZ13 and P16, if you know about laptops, the ProArt ones? Now, I finally have the missing piece, the 13-inch one, and it's my favorite one. It's absolutely amazing. So, no good for music studios if it's going to be running like that. Well, here's the thing. You can actually put it to automatic. When you put it to automatic, I've got a whole video coming up in a minute about the different power modes of Apple. And I've done some deep testing. Deep testing? What is deep testing? I've done some extensive testing on the power modes. And when you have it on automatic, it's a lot quieter. The fans are not ramping up as much. And I've just put it on high power because I just want to see it rip. Okay? Yeah? Now, 5K red raw. Yeah, let's go. 6K red raw. Oh my word. Scrubbing through, amazing. Yeah, for those who want cooling, you could put thermal pads underneath. But this is pretty crazy. Okay, let's press play in this. Oh no. Look, when scrubbing through, we were pulling about 40, 50 watts. This makes me angry and really annoyed because I haven't seen this type of performance on any PC. And I've tested like as much as we can get there. The 64 core Threadripper, as good as it can get, with RTX 4090 is not able to do this, what I'm just doing right now on laptop at 20, 30 watts max power draw. It's... Oh! I think it's time to close Technotis channel down, because the PC market is seriously in trouble. Now, I understand that you're going to have to pay 5 grand for this, but the 6 grand workstation that's down there, for me, is not as powerful. So, maybe I should get a laptop, okay? So, Andreas is saying, is the 128 gigabytes worth the extra RAM? Is the one area you really want to get right when you buy. Yeah, because you can't downgrade, upgrade the RAM. Why would you want to downgrade? But that's it. You're stuck with it. As you can see, it's using quite a lot of them. I've got some ideas about the RAM, and I'll get to that in a minute. Now, you guys keep an eye on how much RAM is actually used there, okay? You can see 39 right now. So scrubbing is fine. Let's move on to a slightly different 6K clips. So these are Komodo clips here. Press play, full resolution, 0 frames dropped. Mental. While having color grade on. My goodness me. My goodness. Oh my word. Yep. So far, this laptop hasn't struggled with any of the codecs. 6K B-RAW, I mean, it's like, are you joking me, right? It's like, buttery smooth, buttery smooth. It's smooth like Valtteri Bottas. Oh my word. The 2 of them on top of each other. It's like, come on, give me something to stress about, because that's like easy. Okay, I'm excited about this one. I hope you are. And whoever's doing the, wondering about RAM usage, just check this out now, okay? I'm going to press play. This is Canon 8K RAW, yeah? And full resolution. Check the RAM usage now. Okay, it's kind of struggled through it, okay? We dropped 757, frames, which is quite a lot. As you can see, it went quite red trying to play this back. And that's the point of this. This is absolutely ridiculous. But interestingly, we're only pulling about 60 watts in there. The GPU is not doing like that much. It's all on the CPU. Like, scrubbing through on full resolution is the best I've ever seen. It's mental. If you put it to half the resolution, it's like, yeah, just 8K red raw. Actually, it makes me yawn. I just made myself yawn. That's mental. 8K Canon R5 raw. It's mental. It's absolutely crazy. Now, this is 8K red raw. Full resolution. I'm going to press play and see what happens. I don't understand why Apple doesn't show this on their marketing material. Why are they not talking about this? Can you see this indicator here? It's still green. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Scrubbing through at full resolution is pretty insane. I mean, look at that. They're using the M4 Max to play this back, or doing the debayering for the GPU, or for this codec. You can see the GPU pulling 40 watts, which is one of the highest I've ever seen. That's crazy. Okay, that was, let's do it full resolution. This is 12K B-RAW. Every single frame of this footage is about 85 megapixels. Okay? Look at this. 12K footage. Now, I'm just going to scrub through full resolution here. Oh my. Oh my. It's not as smooth as what we've seen before, but it's pretty insane. It's like as smooth as it can get. Oh my. I can zoom in. How much can I zoom in? Let's go effects controls. So 8K is 4. So this is like, where's my effects controls? There you go. So if I zoom in, look at still at all the detail. Probably not in focus there. Focus isn't there. I mean, look at that. That's insane. I just don't want to believe it. Wait a second. Okay, it drops a few frames in the beginning, but then that's it. Maybe not quite that's it. We're using 51 gigabytes, and look at that, we've cached 51 as well. And all of we've got only 8 gigabytes free, so over 100 gigabytes was used, as you can see. Guys, I am absolutely blown away. It's absolutely crazy mental. Like, I have never experienced anything like that in here. Okay, now in terms of exporting, right, we'll do the test as well. How is this gonna go? But basically all the footage that we just saw, I've dropped it on the timeline. Some of these are zoomed in, some of these are a little bit like scaled. There's color grade on top. It's not meant to be like amazing. It's just to like kind of put some stress on the system. And then it's 20 minutes exactly. And we're gonna hit export. I've already done this on the desktop, and we're going to be using Premiere Pro for this, and let's see what happens. How much RAM is, for example, used, and so on. Right now it says 17 minutes. doing it faster than real time. So actually I'm not going to do it in there because I think it's easier to see it on media encoder. So I'll open it in there. Okay, there we go. Let me just close Premiere Pro. Press go. Have these two open. Package power draw like 53 watts, something like that. 18 minutes to go, and it's chopping through 4K right now like no tomorrow. This is absolutely amazing. Whatever Apple has done here, I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. This should not be possible on a laptop. Because on Windows, I can throw as much power to it as possible. RTX 4090, the best Threadripper you can find, and it's still not going to do it as good, as fast as this. So Newt is saying the price is insane. I understand that this costs $5,000, but at the same time, it outperforms a $10,000 workstation PC. Now I understand the debate there because, you know, I'm a PC guy myself. I understand that like on a workstation you have maybe much better CPU performance, and you can have better networking, you have upgradability, you've got more RAM and la 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 la. But in this specific application, video editing, it just smokes anything I can throw at it. At least the editing experience feels extremely smooth. Intel's got its own tricks as well, like how they make it very, very smooth. Maybe exporting with the Core Ultra 285K and 4090 with 64 gigabytes of RAM will be faster, but this is still more insane. So yeah, someone is saying that knowing that the battery will be dead in like 18 months, that's why I can't wait for the Mac Studio, because the Mac Studio of this one will be cheaper, no battery, and much quieter as well, because this has to push through all of this power on this tiny skinny chassis. That's what's crazy about it. Would I be willing to do a test with Resolve? Let me see if I've got it open here. Maybe I'll do it another time. Let me just see if I've got the test file for Resolve here. I feel like Resolve doesn't stress it as much, because Resolve is a lot more efficient software for it and works better, but maybe we should. Yeah, I do have DaVinci Resolve here as well. Oh yeah, it's on the desktop. How many would like to see DaVinci Resolve right now as well? I'm not sure. A Babel is saying the M4 Ultra would be absolutely mind-blowing. I know. That is absolutely ridiculous. But I think a lot of people might actually swap to M4 Max instead of Ultra, because if the Mac Studio right now is, what is it, $2,000 for the M2 Max, which is what, $1,600 cheaper than the MacBook Pro version, then I can't wait to get an M4 Max Studio for $2,000. That's like, wow. Okay. So people are saying Resolve, yes. Not sure. Okay, someone else is saying Resolve test here, Big B. Maybe we should do a Resolve test here now then as well. For After Effects, would you suggest PC or Mac? Depends what you're doing. If your goal is to get the most amount of RAM and you just want to, store all your preview on RAM, then having a Threadripper with 256 or 512 gigabytes, there's no competition. If you want the ultimate portable machine, something like this, it's pretty insane. The only thing, for 3D artists, there's only certain programs available. AutoCAD I don't think works very well on the Apple Silicon yet, or Mac OS. And not all 3D programs are available. After Effects and Redshift on C4D. Oh, I want to test one more thing. Here's the thing. Cinebench R24 is utilizing everything on the VRAM. So it uses usually everything. So if you've got a 4090 there, 24 gigabytes, it's gone. If you've got any more, it's just gone. It just utilizes everything. I want to see how much it uses on here, because I don't think it quite utilizes everything. But let me blow your mind one more time. Do you understand that the GPU on this laptop is better in 3D than AMD's ever released? AMD's best, the 7900 XTX. This guy smokes it at like 10th, maybe even less than 10th of a power draw. It shouldn't be possible. Now, if you want to think about, let's say, Apple future, and if Apple really wants to take on the workstation as well, if they started making their own dedicated GPUs, just pull that GPU out and make it into a card where you can splash together, I don't know, 3, 4 M4 Ultras, even Nvidia's going to be in trouble, because it's ridiculous. At the power draw, like at 100, 200 watts or something like that, Apple could outperform the RTX 5080 before it even comes out. It's mental. Let's keep going. Look at that. At this point, our package power draw was just off, was like about 90 watts. That is interesting. So our CPU went up and package power draw was almost 95 watts there. That's a lot for Apple. Someone's asking, testing some games. Sorry, not on this channel, not into that at all. I'm mainly using Make a Viking is saying, I'm mainly using Fusion 360, ZBrush, Keyshot and Resolve. Would this be suitable for me? I'm not sure about the Fusion, ZBrush and Keyshot. I'm not personally using this, so I have limited knowledge of these ones. I'd look into that if that works. Oh, look at that. Again, we got 61 watts. Can you hear how loud the fans are? The fans are going 5,800 RPM. They're like maxed out now. Oh, 62 watts there. Oh, that was good. Resolve is going to be absolutely fine. Can you hear the fans? Can anybody hear the fans? This is Ali is saying, what about workflow? You know, Mac Finder, Windows Explorer, and these things. Can I be honest? I think Windows works better. Like the way Mac OS works, maybe I have to like have more like tips from somebody like how to do everything in there. But certain things for me are like a lot more logical on Windows and actually works faster and better. For example, the way like mapped network drives instead of volumes if you've got a server, that's really annoying. So if I've got a Mac in here and then our editors are working on a PC there, if I open a project or adjust a project or make the project for them and then they open it, then you can't kind of have like map network drives even if they're in the same place, so you'll have to like resync media and all this. That's a little bit annoying. And I would say the Finder and Files Windows is a little bit better as well. I like the way it works. I like how I can like map, what's it called, snap windows. I've got rectangle up. Have I got rectangle here? I haven't installed it on this one. It's installed on the other one. That like helps me to snap windows. But when I'm going Command Tab or Alt Tab to like swap between windows, it swaps between applications rather than windows. So if I've got two Chrome windows open, I don't know, maybe this is a simple thing. Can someone, you know, let me know how this works? But having two windows open side by side, I can't easily swap one to the other. Okay. Look how fast it's going now. As soon as the color grade was off now, it's dropping it like super fast. And look at that package power draw, like 6-7 watts. So 4K encoding is just like for it, absolutely insane. Asaf is saying Mac OS lets you swap windows natively now. Well, the problem I have is, what's the shortcut for these? Okay, someone's saying Command Tab switches apps, Command switches windows in app. So if I'm going, so I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I have Safari open, okay? Look at this. These are like the After Effects benchmarks. Let it do this thing in the background, right? I'm gonna open another window and I'm gonna put it here. Now, if I go Command and Tab, look, it goes there. It goes between applications, but I can't go between windows. Can someone show me how can I go between, like, to a different Safari window where I was there? Command, it just goes to somewhere else. So that's the annoying bit for me. Command tiled top left key. So someone's, okay, how do I snap windows built in? Command? No. I know that you can like do it when you like move it or drag it, but that's like halfway. Okay. If on Windows, I don't know if you guys have been on Windows, like Windows key, arrow key, and it snaps it. Why can't we do it? Command, and that would be so much nicer. Look at this now. That's insane. Drag a window to the left. Yeah, I know that. I know that this is built in. If I drag the window to the left, look at that. Yeah, wow. Drag the window to the right, it goes there. But the thing is, and I know that I think I have, there's another way as well, where it like, yeah, look, that side. But dragging it, it's so much slower than an actual shortcut of 2 buttons in there, 2 buttons in there. I can take boom, boom on the side. I think Windows is better at that. Yeah, Windows Snappier is much easier. Like, I know I can snap it, and that's why I have rectangle as well. And I think multitasking somehow works better on Windows as well. The way I can have things open on one side. Like, I still find that Mac OS requires more clicks than on Windows. So if you're working with 2 browsers on each side, and then having to like watch a video and make notes, for example, and you want to pause the video, you have to like highlight the browser, like click on the browser and then pause it, which is like super annoying for me. Command plus is someone saying. What am I doing wrong now? Command plus wiggle. Where's the wiggle? I don't get it. Right click on the yellow buttons in the corner and you'll see the shortcuts. Wait a second, I might be getting some absolute insane things here. So right click, customize toolbar. No. What do you mean? Right click on the yellow button in the corner and you'll see the shortcuts. Okay, there we go. It did 20 minutes in 16 minutes and 18 seconds. So 20-minute timeline. I'm not sure if you've just tuned in, with like up to 12K footage, all sorts of things, color grades on top. It rendered it back faster than you can play back. If you press play, it's not as fast as it just put it together at YouTube 4K Ultra settings. That's insane. And we pulled at some point maybe 70, 80 watts, but a lot of the time also like 3 watts. So my friends, conclusion now. It's insane. Command plus top left key. Mouse over green button. Okay, come on now. Teach me. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting here. Now, what there's... Okay, I get the arrangement, but this is like... I mean, is there a better way? Because, like, this is so time-consuming to do this. What's the shortcut for this? Command plus top left key. Delete system 32, that's it. What is the top left key? Like escape? Top left key. I don't get it. Mouse over green button. Yeah, I get that. But, okay, anyway. Conclusion is this. This guy here is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm speechless. I'm honestly speechless. If you want an absolute beast for video editing, even in Premiere Pro, that has always been, you know, the talking point on Windows, that it's not so optimized, it's ridiculous, it's absolutely, you know, rubbish software, always clogging. This is insane on that, okay? Never mind Final Cut or DaVinci Resolve, what you're using. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely mental, okay? Now, Do you need 128 gigabytes? Here's the thing, little sneak peek. I've tested 48 and 128 gigabytes. To be honest, for 99% of people, the 48 gigabytes is going to be enough. Now, if you're doing some serious creators on the go, I'd recommend probably going to 64 gigabytes. But I'm thinking, at that price point, you don't mind extra $500 to $1,000, probably go for the 128 gigabytes, okay? You're not going to be thinking, oh, I should have upgraded 64 gigabytes. I don't think money is a problem at that point for you, okay? You've already got the M4 Max. Just cash out extra $1,000, okay? I'm sure you agree. You're going to be like, look, I've already spent that much. Let's just go for it. You're not going to be regretting it later. I know it sounds mental, and I wouldn't do that, but it's true. It's mental, okay? Now, the 128 gigabytes, in reality, you don't actually need it. Apple OS, the Mac OS is very, very good at swapping and caching and so on. But at the same time, if you want your SSD, if you've got a small SSD and if you want your SSD to last longer and you don't want to, to run out, like we used to, because it does a lot of swapping, going with a higher RAM, it swaps less with SSD, which is better. If you're running, what I've used this is like having Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Media Encoder open at the same time, plus Chrome and videos. It's no problem. And 48 gigabytes is still going to be enough. But I think there's certain use cases where you can actually stretch it, like Premiere Pro utilizing and playing video back, editing in Premiere Pro. I think 128 gigabytes could come useful, especially if you're doing other bits as well. Now, do you think this is even close to the 7970X and 4090? Depending what you're doing, but in a lot of the cases, this will smoke it. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I'm a little bit disappointed, sad that it's so good. It's so ridiculously good. If you want to reach out in Minect. I'll get back to all my Minect messages if I didn't get back to your message. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.